People are having to walk into the road to get up the lane because, as you probably know, Burial Ground Lane is only there's only pavement on one side of the lane, and that pavement is where the cars park up upon, stopping people from walking up the pavement. So what I want to know because I've heard it all before, as you know, I've been complaining about this for absolute decades. Well, years. Years. But I want to know, as Tovil Parish Council stands now, what are they going to do about Burial Ground Lane?
Well, I think the answer to that, Stuart, is at the moment we don't know the makeup of the council until we've had the elections of the chairman and vice chairman.
Right. I understand that. A previous gentleman that was on the council as chairman told me that they were going to erect posts down it to stop people from parking up on the curb.
Well, can I just assure you, in my position as vice chairman, that as we stand presently, road safety is going to be a major part of what we're going to do in Tovil. I'm doing a little bit of a presentation later. I think it's item 18. Item 18. And I'll be talking a little bit more about that. And obviously, Burial Ground Lane is inclusive in that.
Thank you.
We are going to take matters much faster and contact more people in authority to get some actions in that respect. So I hope that answers your question at the moment. When we've had the makeup of the council after the elections and whatever, we'll probably go a little bit further.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Anybody else wants?
Can you tell me how far we've got with asking for a 5-knot speed limit on the river of signs we put up on the bridges?
I've written to the Environment Agency. I have spoken to the Environment Agency. I have written to them, and I'm waiting for something to come back. It's actually something due to a few things one you actually got round to last month. So I'll chase that for
Thank
you.
you, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, I just wanted to mention that the council a long time ago said they liked to video meetings, so I thought, well, now I'm not tied up actually on the council anymore. I thought I'd just try videoing them and uploading them to YouTube just to see how they go. I'm not the greatest one with technology, so don't expect great things straight away. Like the chairman's just said, just be careful because I'm not going to edit it all. It will go all up there in full, so it's not selective edited. And just be careful that if other people can read it, news reporters can read it, so you may be quoted in news things. So just be careful what you say tonight, and just remember the idiot with the camera sitting in the corner of the room.
Might be just back interjection that I'm not the chairman.
No.
I'm not the vice chairman.
Yeah. Sorry, it's you sitting at the end of the table. It's just natural reaction.
Sorry. And of course, very much appreciated your video. So if I'd have known, I would put my makeup on. Let's have a bit more photogenic. But thank you very much, Mr.
And the other thing I wanted to raise was about, we often talk about doctor's surgeries. A former councillor, he was quite right in saying that we keep getting hours in with no doctor's surgeries. And the problem we've got is trying to get the doctors in them. They've got Leybourne Chase development up on the old Leybourne Grange Mental Hospital near West Morning, where Taylor Wimpey have built a full doctor's surgery, but it's been sitting there for 3 years now, trying to either sell it or lease it. They've used professional letting companies that deal with like medical practices and that, and after 3 years they've now, despite having the building, they've been unable to let it or sell it. So now they're just about to go to Tunbridge and Morning Council and ask for a change of use to it possibly becoming a restaurant or a gym. The West Kent Clinical Commissioning Group, when they was asked to comment, have said, well, as far as they was concerned, it never featured in any of their plans, so they never ever recognised it. So it's right off the radar. So all I'm saying is getting a doctor's surgery built is one thing, but then trying to get doctors in it and get it actually opening and functioning is another. So I'm not saying what you should do. I'm just an observation.
Yeah. With that in mind, I do believe the previous councils that we've had under your chairmanship we have talked a lot about the developers and the planning obligations, specifically one near here, and got them to commit to doctor surgeries, and we will carry on that case. But it is up to NHS England to staff everything. Obviously, with the new Queen's Speech today, I do believe that if something happens in that respect, and the new government come in, whether or not they vote in the Queen's Speech or not, that is the sort of thing that the government as a whole wants to take forward. And so hopefully, with the Brexit issue dealt with, hopefully the NHS will be able to restaff or retrain and get the doctor surgeries that obviously all parish councils will pitch for, as well as the borough councils, and get them staffed. Yes.
Wouldn't it be nice to have a building that we can call a doctor's surgery? No.
Well, I think just like Mr. Porter has just said, they did have the doctor's surgery built specifically for that purpose, but wasn't able to start it. So I think that's down to NHS England and the national government.
But it could be different. It could be different in most of them, couldn't it?
It could be. There's a lot of things that could be different. One thing I can assure you, or all the members of the public, is that we will do everything in our power, limited that it is, to lobby Maidstone Borough Council and the county councils for action, as well as inclusion of all the parish councils. The bigger the voice we have, the more parish councils we can reach out for and explain our vision of how we should have more infrastructure for all these houses. If we can get all the parish councils on board and some of the borough council, then I think we can move things forward.
Sorry to keep talking,
That's all right.
but the College Road doctor's surgery that we've got, that is the closest to our village. If you want an appointment, you've got to ring up, and then they will ring you back to see what your problem is, and you may not even get an appointment down there.
I think that's the new NHS England triage system, where you dial the 112 or whatever it is. They try to diagnose over the phone. I think Tovil and Maidstone are not the only parish and borough that suffers from this problem. It is nationwide.
I'm not really worried about any other parish. I'm only worried about the parish that I live in.
Yeah.
And I believe that everyone should be able to have a doctor's surgery, a pharmacy, and something like that, because the one down College Road is unacceptable. Paul.
And a chip shop.
There is a chip shop.
Yeah,
It's up Courtney Road.
so I wouldn't be precocious.
Yeah, the only thing I'd like to bring up, which I have noticed, but tonight really emphasises it, the manholes from the corner of Courtney Road down to Woodbridge Road, every single one of them is full, and they've been like it for a long, long time.
Yeah.
Tonight's emphasising it, because for the traffic lights, they've walked the lanes there, as soon as the car goes past,
Absolutely
and it's
so.
been like it at the bus station. You've got the bus station, one
And
outside
you can't
Woodbridge,
get away from it.
They're full up
the
with
one
leaves,
outside
isn't they?
Woodbridge, yeah, and they're silted right up, and they've been like it for as long as I can remember.
I think what we'll do is I'm just going to suggest to the clerk here is to fire off an urgent email, obviously to come up for autumn and winter,
Yeah.
and the KCC do take a note of
Yeah, but it
these.
says, I said, one on the corner, everybody must have seen it, that floods me with leaves for I don't know how long.
I'll try and get some pictures of it as well.
Yeah, I said, one by the traffic lights, so that's all the way down to the bus stop. It even floods there, like tonight, it's flooded.
Not a problem, it's in my book.
Thank
I'll
you.
do it.
The one you want to take a
Thank you very
picture
much.
of is the one down by Allnut Mill.
Okay, well, I don't think I'll walk down to Walnut Mill tonight, if that's okay, but I will.
Whatever, no.
And also our representative, which is the Tracy Is there any other person would like to say anything at all, no matter what it is?
Can I just say
Yes, of course.
that in the paper about the doctor's surgery, it was saying College Road has got, per doctor, 2,000 patients per doctor.
Yes.
Now that is disgraceful, absolutely disgraceful.
On the,
Something should be done.
on the note of the doctor's surgery, there is stuff going on behind the scenes that the public aren't aware of. The neighbourhood plan, we are currently working on putting an amendment in the neighbourhood plan to say that with development we want a medical centre provided. However, it's got to be worded a certain way. And in order to do that, I've got to get the backup. Now, I've gone to the college practice and I've asked them for, I don't want names and addresses, but who is within Tovil? Give me everybody you've got within our boundary, right? Tell me numbers, because then that gives me, for want of a better term, a stick to beat it with. You know, we can then put in the neighbourhood plan, because with neighbourhood plan it's got to be democratic and I've got to demonstrate the need.
Yeah.
The minute I've got those figures and everyone votes on it, because everyone feels the same, I feel the same about it.
Yeah.
And everyone votes on it, not only is it democratic, well, I've proven it, and that's the only way we're going to get it done. So please don't ever think that because you're not seeing stuff being done, it's not being done. It is, believe me.
Well, that's good to hear then.
All right.
I'm quite happy with the answer.
No, that's
Thank
fine.
you.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on in the background with that. A lot of it's to do
Sorry.
with a lot of it's to do with the national government as well. But there is a lot of stuff goes on in the background, and also a lot of the decisions that they make, like the clerk just mentioned, are all based on data. Without data, they won't go on people's words, letters, emails, and the like. There has to be data to show, which is why clerk's written to the college practice and asked them for the numbers. So when we have the data, it is like a stick, but I would actually call it ammunition. Not a stick to beat
Yeah,
people
sorry.
down.
Thinking
Add more ammunition that we can actually have and take to the relevant authorities.
Yeah, it would help if you didn't build so many houses around.
I'm afraid that's national government.
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
The issue,
You know, that should be slowed down a bit. We're getting out of control with that.
we may see some different direction, I may add, with the resignation of the head of KCC and a new face being brought in.
Well, that might be good.
Well, there could be. I'm not promising anything, and I don't know anything myself. And even if I did so, it would be unethical for me to say so in this forum. But there might be a change of direction into providing a little bit more infrastructure for all these houses. Now, don't forget, it's all about, in the end, money.
Oh, yeah.
And it also goes with what they call benefit-cost ratio. It has to be beneficial towards the cost. And there's a certain ratio they work out, a mathematical ratio. If that isn't worked out, if it doesn't show what they need it to show, then it doesn't get done. So hopefully, like I said, with this new face, we may see some movement.
We might need a lot more new faces on the KCC. That's all I can say about that one.
Would anyone else like to add anything further?
Right, we're ready, Mr. Vice Chairman.
Okay, I'd like to declare the meeting open. It's now 7:15. So the first item on the agenda is the election of a chairman and a vice chairman. Lisa?
Okay. I have had one nomination for chairman, and that's Councillor Paul Wooding. Therefore, we can do this one on a show of hands. So if I can call it to a vote. All those in favour of Councillor Paul Wooding taking over as chairman? Got 5 in favour. All those against? 1 against. And abstaining. Perfect. Okay, Mr. Chairman.
Do I vote then? Do I vote or vote down?
Do you want to abstain?
Yeah, I'll abstain.
Right, Mr. Chairman, could you please sign the declaration of office? Thank you. Alison said I have to make sure I sign it here and now. Okay, we've had 2 nominations for vice chair, but I will hand it over to the chairman.
I don't know.
You'll see on the ballot.
Yeah, but we're going to now have the election of the vice chairman. Ballot papers will be handed out. If you could just put a cross on the relevant one. Please no small ballot papers tonight. There's not many there at all.
No pictures.
Or none of the above. I don't want to see any of them. Just, yeah.
Just vote or don't vote.
Vote or don't vote. Thank you very much.
Up to you.
And fold it up and give it back to the...
Let's fold it back and give it back to me. Okay.
Thank you.
And then Ron, I'll need you to witness if I can. Okay. There you go.
We'll just put that to the bottom.
Excellent, boss, yeah.
Yes, please. Oh, did you one, Ron? Sorry. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much. I'm going to go over in that corner now so Ron can witness this. Okay. Look away. Yes, that is that. Mr. Chairman, we have a new vice chairman. Don't trust my camera here.
It's just called a recheck. I was looking for the postal votes. No postal votes today. We have a new vice chairman. There's no need to read out the numbers of the votes, but the new vice chairman today is Councillor Gary Butler.
Well done, Gary. Well done, Gary. Right, I need you to do a bit of paperwork.
I can't decide.
Well, you know what, you've got to sign the
Can't read
life
either.
Well, you
That's
should
all right,
have
you
done
can
then,
say
shouldn't you?
frantically.
You should have put a nomination paper in. They can just sign there and date it for me,
Yeah.
please. Congratulations,
Thank you
Mr.
very
Vice
much.
Chairman.
Thank you.
Okay, so that's been done.
Congratulations, Vice Chairman.
Thank you very much
Indeed.
indeed. Keep on
Apologies.
trouble. I will do my very best as Vice Chairman.
You've got the job, Gary.
Yeah.
I've got to say it. I will do my very best to represent you, and obviously my emails, you've got my email address, anything I can do,
Thank you,
put it to,
Gary.
and we put it to the committee and see if we can help you out.
Thank you, Gary,
You're
very
welcome.
much.
Okay, apologies for absence. Agenda item 2. Councillor Susan Hogg, family commitments, and Councillor Paul Wilby, work commitments, and also Dennis Kuzma from the Valley Conservation Society. No reason given, but he's absent. Recording of proceedings. I'm going to ask if there's anyone wishes to intend to film, photograph, or record any items in the meeting. And that's Councillor Abigail Hogg.
And the man sitting with a tripod in the
And
corner.
Mr. Lloyd Porter.
One who thinks it's summer.
Yeah.
No, he's my gauge. I know it's winter when he's not in shorts.
Item number 4, declaration of interest, dispensations, predeterminations or lobbying. Councillor Abigail Hogg.
I think I should declare item 12, planning A. I am a neighbour of the applicant.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Abigail.
And myself, number 18.
Although I don't know about the application.
Oh no, sorry. I don't know about it. I know it's close to my house.
Yeah, I didn't even know it until I saw it on here.
Right, don't worry.
And myself, item number 18, the road safety project. The details I'm going to give tonight has been worked on from me since 2014 and are on my website.
Yeah.
Although that doesn't preclude me debating the subject or presenting the subject to you, there is no pecuniary interest to me, there's no monetary value or anything else that I'll benefit from, apart from the community. Decision regarding any items to be taken as confidential with exclusion from the public and the press. Is there any?
I've recommended none, but it's up to council.
Is there any other information you'd like to say? And now, if we'd like to introduce
Terry Martin.
Mr. Terry Martin, who's going to give us a small presentation, and Geraldine and Clive as well. A small presentation from CALC. Now, CALC is the
Kent Association of Local Councils.
I think they're, rather than me going further on that, I think if you'd like to sort of take it over from there, you explain where you're from, what you do, how it will benefit us, and all the rest of it.
Certainly. Well, thank you very much for inviting us to your council meeting tonight. I'm Terry Martin, I'm Chief Executive of Kent Association of Local Councils. This is Geraldine Brown, Councillor Geraldine Brown, who's Chairman of our CALC Maidstone Area Committee, also Chairman of Tovil Parish Council, and Clive Powell is our Local Council's Advisor and Learning Development Manager. We're a parish council membership organisation. We've been in existence since 1947, so been around a long time. Tovil Parish Council was in membership a couple of years ago. Obviously hoping to explain what we do and hope that you'll consider rejoining the association. So we are a membership body governed by our member councils. We have an executive committee made up from member councils for our area committees. We provide legal technical advice to our member councils. We have a very comprehensive learning and development programme for both councillors and clerks, and Clive will go both through those in a minute for you. We also have a representational role, and we have a national body called the National Association of Local Councils, which is similar to the Local Government Association, who I'm sure you've heard of, that represent principal authorities. So our national association represents the parish council sector. We have a role at county level, so we engage with Kent County Council, Police and Crime Commissioner and Kent Police, and Kent Fire and Rescue Service, who are obviously just up the road from you. So we do a lot of work with them on behalf of our member councils. Some of the publications we provide, we put out a lot of information to try and help member councils keep up to date with changes in legislation, initiatives that are coming out. So we have a CALC newsletter that goes out once a month to all our member councils. We have a National Association Chief Executive Bulletin that's done on a weekly basis to keep abreast of national issues, meetings that are happening at national level. I do a monthly bulletin that goes out to our members around county issues and some national issues. And we have, regular conferences and events. As I said, we have 13 area committees that mirror each of the districts and the boroughs across the county. So we have 13, and obviously we have one here for Maidstone Area Committee. We have an annual general meeting each year where all our members are invited to come along, send 2 representatives, where we debate issues of county-wide interest, but also our subscription rate for the following year. So that all our members have an opportunity to obviously have a say on the subscription rates going forward. We also have a membership survey that we put out to all of our member councils to get feedback on what we're doing, what they think we're doing well, what they think we could improve on. So we look at that to try and refine our services going forward. I'll just hand over to Clive briefly and I'll come back in a minute.
Thank you, Terry. Main thing I think for many of our members is the inquiry service, and we're pretty much there 24/7 now thanks to the benefits of technology, so I try to pick up all the inquiries. We have a lot of resources, as Terry's mentioned. If you come to me directly, it's worth saying that it's the council that's in membership, not any individual. So if the chairman phones me, it's invariably to do with the clerk, but normally I will deal with Lisa. So if there was an issue relating to the council, then I would expect to hear from Lisa, and I will feed that back to Lisa, who then will disseminate it as appropriately. One of the obvious things about local councils these days is that they are incredibly complicated, and you will be involved with, obviously, financial decisions and planning, and because of that, we try to build up a resource, a network of consultants. We now have 10 consultants in areas like finance, planning. There's some quite obscure areas like project management and tree preservation and allotments and burials, for example. So if you come to me, basically, I don't always know the answer, but I probably know a man who does, so, or a lady. So it's really about that network of information. The final backstop, I wasn't going to use the word backstop tonight, apologies, is that as a member of CALC, as Terry has pointed out, you're also a member of NALC, the National Association of Local Councils, which means there's a team of 3 solicitors who work for you for free. So they are obviously national experts. So not only are you part of the bigger picture in Kent, you're part of the bigger national picture as well. So it's quite, reassuring. I mean, hopefully you won't use these resources. We like to think of ourselves as the AA, not Alcoholics Anonymous, but the Automobile Association. We're kind of your 4th emergency service, so you can come to us. And then Terry also alluded to the conference and L&D programme. That's very well established. We have 4 regular conferences every year for clerks, councillors, finance and planning, plus additional conferences as and when required. So in a couple of weeks' time we have the transport conference. So this is a brand new conference for us, but it's going to cover areas like HGVs, air pollution and things like that. So it's quite an exciting new area. So we don't, rest on our laurels. The main thing for us is our mainstream L&D programme, and that's 50 double modules of 3 hours duration. The main one that would interest you at the moment is the Dynamic Councillor course, which is a 3-hour course aimed at new and returning councillors. So when you come into that programme, nothing's assumed, but by the end of the 3 hours, hopefully we can, move you towards becoming more dynamic. But if, as a councillor, you were to follow that course and also do the planning and finance course, you would actually have something like 21 hours of L&D behind you, which is a very impressive portfolio. And even, a district councillor would be quite jealous of you if you had that kind of qualifications behind you. So it's quite a well thought out programme. There's something for everyone. And it's always evolving, so there's always something new. But I think that's probably... Oh yes, Terry's looking at me, and I know what that means. GDPR. 2 years ago, the General Data Protection Regulations came into being, and we were very alarmed, and everyone was very alarmed, because if you got it wrong, it was potentially £250,000 fine. So we ran out an awful lot of training on that to bring our members up to speed. So we're quite reactive. If there is an issue, we try to get there at first base to sort that out. And also the next thing on the horizon, because there's always a next thing, is the web accessibility regulations, which again will have significant consequences for any local authority. So you ignore these bits of legislation, it would be nice to think it will go away, but it won't. So you ignore this legislation at your peril, and that's why we try to keep our programme focused on what you really need. But I think that's probably it. So over to Geraldine.
There's 41 parish councils and parish meetings in Maidstone Borough, and 40 of them are members of CALC. We have 6 meetings a year, and as a member you would have 2 of your councillors with voting rights to attend meetings. And we try to have speakers, but it's networking again, and at the moment, we're going through the wretched review of the Maidstone local plan, which I think is even worse than the local plan itself. And it's really good to sit with other councillors who are in the same boat as yourselves to find out what you're doing, working together, tackling Maidstone Borough Council together. We set up, for the local plan, we set up what we call the coordinating group, and we brought in parish councillors, but also other interested
parishes who could help us, you know, talk to Maidstone and argue our corner. And for the clerks, it's invaluable because there's the clerks network. They go to lunches and they've always got somebody to talk to. And also from the clerks' point of view, they've got Clive, so if there's something they don't know, they're not sure of, you know, Clive mentioned GDPR. I mean, that... yeah, I know.
Nightmare.
A nightmare. But it's all those sort of things. And with the new website that's being designed at the moment, there will be a lot of information on there that you can all access. So, again, if you're a member of the Maidstone Calc, then, you know, you've got me as well as these two guys, there's Laura. Everybody is there to help you. And we'd love you to come back on board because that puts Maidstone back together again as one.
Sorry, Geraldine, you're Dean, are you?
I'm your
You're
Dean.
doing your neighbourhood plan, aren't you?
We are.
I'll keep you in mind. That's all right, we're doing ours, aren't we? So, yeah.
Talk to Angela.
Angela,
She's my
thank
clerk.
you.
She's the clerk, yeah.
I will do, thank you.
Yes, you're doing, that's why I'm listening for the rain.
Yeah, bless you.
Yeah, so just lastly, really, Geraldine mentioned about we've got 40 members out of 41 in Maidstone. Across the county, there's 320 parish, town, community councils and parish meetings. We have 309 in membership, so that's 96.5%. We'd love to have you on board. The role of parish town councils is growing, and its importance is growing, and it's changing with challenges coming from the principal authorities. Ministry of Housing, Communities, Local Government published a Communities Framework earlier this year that said that they will champion the important role and work of parish councils and look to try and strengthen them going forward. So we'll be working with our National Association with taking that forward with government. And the important role of parish councils is also highlighted in the Village Survival Guide from the Prince's Countryside Fund with a full word from Miranda Hop. So, you know, the parish council's role is growing, the sector's growing. We had 4 new councils created in Kent this year. So Sheerness Town Council, Kensington Community Council, South Hillsborough Newtown Community Council and Hurston Parish Council. So the sector is growing and the important role of parish councils is growing as well. So we hope that you'll think about rejoining. Happy to answer any questions.
Is there after annual membership, which I think Lisa has the details on that, after the annual membership, is there any ongoing cost for any of the LMD courses?
Yes, yeah. So there's the membership. Obviously, when we provided this, there was an annual fee, but if you were to rejoin, we could do a pro rata from 1st of November to 31st of March.
Sorry, could you just tell me what would roughly the pro rata fee be? Roughly?
I've got it here.
You've got, okay, you're going to, okay,
So,
no problem.
You want now? Yeah, so if you join from the 1st of November, it'll be £395.95 plus £79.19 VAT, which comes at £475.15.
Until?
To the 31st of March.
To the 31st.
So it's every 6 months more or less.
Yeah, virtually, 5 months. Sorry, what's your...
And it was the
Oh, training, yes. So for training, our fee for, we do 3-hour intense workshops or a full-day conference, that's £60 plus VAT per person. If you're a non-member, it's £120 plus VAT. But it is a full day for the conference.
Is there any certification afterwards that a council can achieve
We should be asked, we want to be in it.
Things and
we do provide a certificate if member.
There's CPD attached. Yeah, I mean that tends to be more relevant for Lisa, but yeah, I mean for you guys, it would also be an issue.
Yeah, we do offer a participation certificate if a council asks for one. We're happy to provide a certificate.
It's a wide area, but you mentioned about how you were going help with the councils and about the building and pollution. If someone from Tovil constituents had a problem and they put it to us, and we couldn't do nothing at the moment, but we could come to you, would that be still acceptable?
But if you're after advice on
that wouldn't be charged, that'd be...
No, advice service is free, so if there's a query that obviously
Because what you-
Lisa or the
Yeah,
council
what you said
meets.
tonight, what was
This is
concerned?
like,
Yeah.
if it was a planning issue, you had a query, we have a planning consultant that,
Brilliant.
if Clive couldn't answer
Because
it.
what's concerning me is the amount of building work that there is in the town centre and the amount of pollution. I know it's all going ahead and there's nothing we can do, but surely for the constituents, no.
There you go.
There you go, cross them down. But for the constituents of the area, which is very well polluted at the moment, how do you feel it could be better organised and less pollution? Would you get involved in that as well?
Can I just say to you that at the moment through Maidstone, we have a trial running where we've got the tubes out in various different villages.
Yes.
Okay, you have to pay for the tubes, and they're not that expensive. And I think, off the top of my head, there's about 11 or 12 villages participating in that. And at the Peter Coon's the expert on this one. I can't remember how long they're in for. We get a full report at the end of that.
And that full report could alter or put an indication that it is too much for the people, and that
You
would
could
then...
use it in any argument that
Yeah,
you were
that sounds
trying to make on behalf
Like I mentioned
of
before to the lady at the back, all relevant authorities need data.
Yeah.
Yes.
The only way to do that is collect it over not just a short period of time, it has to be collected over a long period of time, collated and then measured against something else. If the council then feels that it's detrimental to our particular area, we relay our concerns to Lisa, who will then fly after the relevant departments of CALC. Even if it's someone to go to, they
That
can
sounds
advise
good.
us.
I think
They can advise us on
Yeah.
The other
what to
thing
do
is as
next.
well, talking about that, because we've done it as CALC,